Hey y'all, so I wanted to come on here and talk about all that's been going on with the Coachella Festival. Now, if you don't know, Coachella is an annual kind of like music festival where they have different lineups from all genres of music, and it takes place in Indigo, California, which is near Palm Springs. So basically, the festival has been a whole mess. Like, people have been all over TikTok saying how much of a mess it's been. And my thing is, like, the tickets are so expensive. Like, the cheapest one I seen was like for the first week was $549. Like, this is crazy. And then, like, imagine if you don't even live in California. So you'll have to fly out, get reservations, stuff like that. Oh, and they also offer like campsites that you can basically camp out, and you got to pay a fee for that. Like, it's just so many fees, not to mention food and everything else. So we're going to take a look at these videos of people explaining how Coachella was a complete disaster, and then I'll come back with the rest of my commentary.
Always post videos saying that most attendees don't even clean up after themselves. That's why you always feel dirty. Traffic in Coachella was also poor, with people heading to the festival having to wait for hours in traffic jams, with some saying they had to wait twice for up to 12 hours to get inside. Many festival goers began to feel angry and dissatisfied with the Coachella festival staff. Many people have started asking for their money back because they no longer want to participate in the event. Ironically, for some reason, Coachella audiences are always super dead. If you look around, almost no one is singing or dancing to the music. Everyone is pulling out their phones and silently recording. In fact, a few years ago, when creator Taylor was performing at Coachella, he walked on stage and started yelling at the audience for being so boring. It happens almost every year because everyone has only one purpose, and that is to take pictures. This seems to be the worst Coachella in
Coachella story time. So my client and I got a cease and desist letter from Coachella. Let's talk about it. So my client wanted to do a conference, and the conference was going to be Coachella, like, musical theme. And we were going to have these outfits. It was going to be like this whole Coachella-ish experience, right? I have an agency, and we developed the landing page. We made the graphics. We were getting shirts made. All kinds of things were happening. And it was time to launch the page for the conference. I don't even think the page was out for a week, and we get an email from Coachella's legal team telling us that we are in copyright infringement of their brand. And I'm like, OMG. And they sent us a cease and desist letter. Now, let me be very clear. The conference and event that we were doing was not going to be any brand confusion with Coachella. But what we didn't understand was that they also own the brand and the trademark for Cella. So if you've heard of Afrochella, something Cella. So even if you're using the phrase Cella, them folks can come after you. So, we did. I was like, OMG. So we had to change everything. Change the URLs. We had made videos. We had to change those, change the landing pages, change all the graphics, because the conference was still going to happen, and we had to change the theme and get a new theme like that. But we were able to fix it. But I'm just here to tell y'all, don't name your events anything Cella, because them folks will come after you.
I am going to be de-influencing Coachella. I literally had to report a man I went with to the IRS. Each time I went was hell on earth. So let's get into it. The first time I ever went to Coachella was 2018. I was 19 years old, and I robbed my boyfriend to be able to afford the tickets. He was a dealer, and I stole a lot from him and did a lot of illegal things to get his money. My friends and I decided to use the stolen cash to go to Coachella. The problem is I was going with my best friend at the time, Alex. And Alex suggested to me and my friend Kepra that we camp, because he had camped at East Coast music festivals before, and he claimed it made it way more fun. Let me tell you something, camping in the middle of the desert when it's 100 degrees out is not fun. But I digress. We had our Coachella tickets, we flew to LA, we rented a Mustang, we drove down to Palm Springs. As we were trying to enter the camping grounds, we saw that you couldn't enter the camping grounds with alcohol. And that wasn't gonna work for three 19-year-olds. Alex had traveled with like 6 bottles of cheap vodka, you know, the kind of vodka that comes in like the plastic bottle. Really disgusting stuff. He had the bright idea that we stop at Walmart in Palm Springs and get big, giant jugs of like fruit punch. We then went in the parking lot and chugged as much fruit punch we could out of these like 5-gallon jugs of fruit punch, made ourselves sick, and then dumped all the vodka into it. We then pull back around to the parking line. It's the night before Coachella starts. We pull in, we set up a tent, we think everything's fine. We didn't get drunk that night. I remember us just going to sleep. We woke up at like 6 in the morning, 6 or 7 in the morning, with the sun beating down on us. Through the tent, we could feel the heat and see the sunshine just like piercing through our tent. It just woke us right the F up. It was horrible, and it was so hot outside. My friend Kepper and I decided to go sit in the car and start blasting the AC. While we were doing that, we killed the car's battery, and our car needed a jump. We were trying to charge our jewels at the same time as blasting the air conditioning. I don't know, bad combo. So we started walking around the campsite looking for someone who could jump our car. Finally, we were able to find it. Once that was out of the way, I put on like a little tiny sparkly bodysuit. I was wearing like nothing. And I looked at Kepper and I looked at Alex and I was like, let's get wasted. We took getting wasted day 1 a little too far. We drank all 6 bottles of the cheap vodka mixed in with the fruit punch in one day. I was blacked out, belligerently drunk. Kepper was belligerently drunk. Alex had ran off into the festival. I didn't know where he was. I ended up separated from Kepra. I don't know what happened to Kepra. The only thing I remember is being in a crowd, dancing. I don't even know who was playing. And some random man came up behind me. Now, mind you, I was in like a sheer mesh, good American bodysuit with crystals all over it. I also happened to be on my period, and apparently my tampon string was hanging out. So the guy walked up behind me, and I thought he was just dancing on me, but he reached around and under and pulled my tampon out of me. I guess he wanted to like come up behind me and start diddling me. I freaked out. I started running away. Don't remember much after this. I ended up in some random guy's tent, and he gave me, you know, substances that make reality not seem like reality anymore, if you catch my drift. I wanted to bring these back to my friends, so I headed back towards the campsite. Once I got to the campsite, I found Kepra just passed out on top of the tent. Kepra was so drunk she fell over and literally destroyed the tent, like snapped the pieces of plastic that were holding it up. Our tent no longer existed, but I was too drunk to care. I went into the car and I put the substances in the car, and then as I was getting out of the car, I just threw up. All the fruit punch, everything just came pouring out of me all over our campsite. Imagine how throw up smells in 100-degree heat. Yeah, not good. While I was throwing up, that made Kepra wake up and start throwing up also. So our entire campsite was just full of like rotting food truck food and vomit. It was bad. I remember nothing from this point on until nighttime. I wake up with like a severe sunburn. Literally like 3rd-degree burns all over my body. I was in so much pain I started to cry. Just to give you an idea of how bad the sunburn actually was, I still have sunspots on my back from Coachella 2018. It permanently damaged my skin. I decide because I'm in so much pain and I still want to be able to see the weekend, I'm just going to finish off whatever alcohol we had left. I finish it off and remember basically nothing after this. Allegedly, I made it to the weekend set and I was literally falling over. I passed out in the grass just dead and EMS had to come. They came to like get me because they thought I had alcohol poisoning or I OD'd or something. I got up and I sprinted across the festival and ran away. This is according to my friends because I don't remember. Somehow I made it back to the campsite that night, but we had no tent left. So my friends and I all just passed out on top of the tent, looking up at the night sky. Woke up in the morning with the sun beating down on us again. I really wanted to shower, but the lines for the showers were like miles long, so the entire 3 days I was there, I didn't shower once. I was covered in dirt, sunburn, vomit. It was gross. I ended up taking the reality-altering substance, and we had some sort of existential realization that we were all really ugly. Because everyone at Coachella was super hot. It was like the influencer Olympics there. My friend Alex, who was gay, thought he was like a New Jersey 10 for a gay. And then these like alpha gays walked past us in the crowd and they were super jacked, just wearing Speedos. And he realized how ugly he truly was. His wallpaper on his phone was a photo of himself. And he kept looking at it, horrified at how ugly he was. So he changed his wallpaper to a photo of Donald Trump. Don't ask me why he did that. I don't know. Day 3, my friend Kepper and I just hid in like the food court and were binge eating. We were like so depressed, so disgusted with ourselves. Everything, like my hair smelled, I smelled. It was horrible. When we left LA, I was like, there's no way I'm going back. It was like surviving like the Hunger Games or something. The only benefit to that experience, I guess, was realizing how ugly I was in comparison to everyone in LA. So I started going to the gym all the time, and I truly tried to like find my inner LA baddie, and it ended up working. Because when I decided to go back in 2022, I was a successful OF model, I had money, I had connections, I knew I would be able to go to all the parties and everything like that and all the events. So I thought it would be a totally different experience because I had a nice Airbnb, I had invites to all the best parties. I thought I was going to be living it up. And then I made the fatal mistake of inviting a corn star. Me and this corn star had collabed together previously for my OF page. And he had confessed to me, like, after our first collab, that his dad was, like, a child predator. A literal PDF file. Which should have been a red flag, right? But I was, like, 23 years old. I didn't care. I just wanted to have a man there as, like, an accessory. And I thought, hey, I could pay for this Coachella trip by having, like, another Coachella collab with him. Everything seemed like it was going fine on, like, night 1. I brought him to a party with me. And that's when things really started to go downhill. He got extremely wasted at the party, went up to Jake Paul and Logan Paul and told them that he sleeps with way badder girls than they ever could, and he's the most famous male corn star in the world. Nobody knew who the hell he was. He was not famous like that. I started getting really embarrassed, so I started avoiding him. That's when Murder Beats, a security guard, walked up to me at the party and said, I didn't know they made thick girls in New Jersey. And I was like, oh, I have a BBL, I don't know. And then he offered me $20,000 to go home with Murder Beats. I declined because I had to take care of the insane male corn star I had brought. The male corn star comes home with me, back to our Airbnb. My friend Alex was at the Airbnb, like, waiting for us. And then he asks me to put fingers in his chocolate starfish. I was mortified. I went to bed that night just trying to, like, forget that ever happened. I really wanted to have fun at the festival the next day. And then the male corn star told me his dog was at the vet. And because of that, he no longer could film a collab video with me. Mind you, I had paid for this man's ticket. I paid for everything and I wanted to make my money back. But he wasn't having it. The whole day, he was depressed, he was upset, he didn't want to have fun with us, he didn't want to do anything. We brought him to the festival and he just whined and cried the whole time saying he wanted to go home, so we brought him home. He made the experience so awful. It felt like he was trying to ruin my Coachella experience on purpose because I wouldn't put my fingers in his chocolate starfish. I looked at Alex and I said, let's just try and have a fun rest of the weekend, but that didn't end up happening because Alex took too much Adderall, had a mental breakdown, dressed as a furry to Coachella, and then decided he wanted to unalive himself because he looked fat dressed as a naked slutty tiger. I barely got to experience the festival at all. Last night, I just spent sobbing. I went to Bella Thorne's party and the corn star was trying to hook up with every other girl there, but still expected to sleep in my Airbnb. It was horrible. I felt like very used. I wake up in the morning and the corn star's car got robbed. He left his car open in the middle of Palm Springs. He ended up leaving. And then I recalled when he was really drunk, he told me he never paid his taxes. So I ended up reporting him to the IRS when I got home. He owed over $800,000.
Good morning, guys. It is officially day 1 of Coachella. We went hard at camp because some of us took like 10 hours to get in. I didn't. I took 3. I don't know how the fuck I did it, but fuck, dude. Coachella car camping this year, disaster. Literally absolutely fucking ridiculous, but we made it. We basically made our own we picked our own spot. There was no one guiding us. If we're gonna rate Coachella this year for car camping, absolutely shit show. Absolutely fucking shit show. But good morning. Let's get fucked up.
I will never, ever attend Coachella again unless I'm there getting paid. Like, I would just never go again. Okay, so I told y'all I was gonna come on here and give y'all the tea. Here's the tea. It's very much cold, but Coachella is not for us, y'all. It's not. In my opinion, it's not for us. And not even in like a racist way. It's just, if you ain't with the or like if you're not a tech rave disco girly, like this shit is not for you. I'm telling you, it's not for you. If you're not gonna be in the mosh pits, it's not for you. Like that ass, the whole scene, it's just not something the average black person would like. And I know I can't speak for all black people, but based off of social media and at least my For You page, we're pretty much all alike. Like we all cousins around this bitch. And so walking around for like 8+ hours a day with nowhere to sit, being in the dirt, inhaling that dirt is why I'm sick. I'm sick. Yeah. Only having 2-3 artists that play music that we actually listen to, like, and mind you, I'm the type of person, like, I listen to a very wide genre of music. Like, I like country music, I like certain like little white girl songs, I like rap, I like R&B, I like slow jams, I like classical music. Like, I'm very much like, I won't say like I listen to everything, but like I feel like I'm well diverse, and I still would not attend. So yeah, unless I'm getting paid to be there, like that's the only way I would ever even think about setting foot on those grounds again, because absolutely not. It was hot as shit. We didn't have our boots on because our feet hurt. To get into Coachella was like a 25-30 minute walk just to get onto the grounds from drop off location. That's bullshit. Food was expensive as fuck, which is to be expected, but with nowhere to sit, it's hot as fuck, it's crowded as fuck. Like, it was just too much going on, and it's not something that like I see myself doing again. And if you don't have a bandana on out there, you're fucked. Like, I was fucked. I could not breathe. That's why I'm fucked and congested right now. I need to do like a detox, because inhaling so much dirt clogs your system, and I'm still recovering, guys. That's why I haven't posted, because I'm recovering. So if you talk about the way that I look or the way that I sound, you're anti-black. But yeah, girl, if you look like me, save your coins and go to an actual concert. Or I don't know about Rolling Loud. I kind of wanted to attend Rolling Loud, but I'm a little scarred from Coachella, so I probably won't even go to Rolling Loud, to be honest. We need like an R type of event, like a Boachella. We could have like tents and like big ass fans that blow like misty air, so we're not fucking cooking and sizzling under the sun all fucking day. And we can have like a variety of artists. Like, it doesn't just have to be black artists, it can be artists of color. Billie Eilish could, come through if she wanted to. There are a lot of like other little things that happen in between. Like, my friend got her drink snatched by a fucking worker. That's a whole nother like little story, because we definitely turned up on that bitch ass. But yeah, so we attended Coachella day one. I didn't get any good pictures or clips because I was running so late. It was dark, I was lost. Like, it was just a lot going on day one. I was so overstimulated that I didn't even get like clips. And so day two, we didn't end up going. We ended up going to a bar and like a club, and we had a great time. We had a better time at the bar and the club than we did at Coachella. And then day three, we went to Coachella for Meg, only for them to cut her set short. I know a lot of people are like, oh, she went over time and all this shit. She was having technical difficulties the whole time. They could have let her keep going. Like, there was a couple times while even rapping, in the middle of her rapping, she was like, cut my fucking mic up. Like, they were fucking with her shit. Her audio was going, like, it was kind of in and out at some point. And then they definitely did cut her short because she was in the middle of getting ready to perform. I don't know what the song was called, but it's the Watashi Wasta. Like, she was going to perform that. Her backup dancers were doing the dance, but we could not hear anything. We couldn't hear anything. She was talking in the mic, couldn't hear anything. She was trying to keep going. And, like, the whole crowd was cheering, Meg, 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 Meg. And, like, they were not fucking with her. After she got cut, we could not hear her for the rest of her little performance. And eventually, like, they just turned off the lights and she walked off stage, and that was it. Like, they cut her off. And so if you can't even support a big black creator that like many people are coming to see her specifically for, like, I just don't want to come back. I just don't want to go back, and I probably won't go back. Like I said, unless I'm getting paid, Coachella will not be seeing me again, and that's just that. But I appreciate all the new follows, y'all. Appreciate all the support and all the people who are writing for me in my comments, because there's a lot of like people trying to eat me up, and y'all can't eat me up because I like to clap back. But anyway, yeah, that's the tea. I told y'all the tea was cold.
So guys, I thought in honor of it being just about 3 years since I got arrested at Coachella, I would do a story time of the time I got arrested at Coachella. So the year was 2022. I was 17 years old. My birthday was a week later. So that was actually good. It was the first day of the festival. I had my 2 friends with me, one of which is a little bit rowdier than the other. It's the first day. We pre-gamed a little, but we thought better take it chill because we don't know. I've never been here. Like, I don't know where we're going. So we're all like not crazy out of it by the time it's time to go to the festival. And you walk through this like security line, whatever. We get through. I got through with like some magical things, and I was like thinking, this is easy. Like, shit, I was so worried. I had hid the magical thing like in my tit. It was melting. Like, it was crazy. So they didn't need to do any of that. They didn't even check your bag. Security is not great. So we get in, and my friend immediately goes up to these 2 pretty blonde women and asks them if they can buy us a drink. And they're like, oh, this is your first music festival? And we're like, yeah, which it was. And they're like, oh, yeah, like someone did this for us at our first music festival. No problem. So they go and they buy us a salt and straw margarita, a alcohol content of literally 4%. Like, I think you know where this is going. So I'm about to take a sip of the drink. My friend Mick asked me to hold the drink for him, so I have 2 in my hands, and I go to take a sip, and right as the salt and straw margarita touches my lips, I feel a hand on my shoulder, and I turn around, and straight out of the Tana Mojo story, there is like 8 people have formed a circle around us. They're wearing like Jan Sport backpacks, the flower crown she mentioned, like they're full like 2016 Coachella, like they looked a bit out of place, and that's how I knew. And they're like, excuse me, how old are you? I said 21. I was committed. Okay, I was committed to my lie. They said, I don't think you're 21. Where's your wristband? I was like, wristband? Like what wristband? Like I didn't know we needed one. The story, it was unraveling. And so they're like, okay, so no, Mick's looking at me like this man wants to run, but I'm in Doc Martens like 8-inch platform boots, and I was like, I don't know if I can run. And they're like, okay, so we're with like the Coachella Valley police department, like you guys have to come with us. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, okay, whatever, like this probably isn't that bad. They're probably just gonna take us, have us give them the drink, and tell us to leave the festival. Like, we're just gonna get kicked out, won't go to the first day, like it's gonna suck, but whatever, maybe tomorrow. Well, no. After we agreed to go with them, they grabbed my hands and put them behind my back. They handcuffed me. Mind you, I want to attach a reference photo. I will. Mind you, like the outfit I was wearing was like an IMG bright pink set. I had butterfly sunglasses on, and I was kind of fat at the time. I mean, honestly, probably the same weight now, but it's okay. But so my hands are behind my back. I'm being handcuffed. Mick in his ostrich pants and his fake tan that he had planned to take off in the Coachella bathroom and was currently setting into orange. Yeah, they take us out. So we're doing the walk of shame, and I'm like, whatever, fine. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Well, then I hear, Lola, Lola. I turn around slowly with the cop. It is 5 people from my school, because Coachella is like a big deal in California at our schools, and people will leave and like take that Friday off. And like within a matter of minutes, like everyone knew I was been arrested. And it doesn't end there. This is like a long story. Then they take us back on a golf cart. Like 6 men are like with my friend, because he's a super tall man. And they take us back in a golf cart to Coachella jail. And it's like a holding area. It's just a table. They handcuff you to a table. It was crazy. And you just have to wait there. And my friend would not give them his name. Like, he's like, don't say anything. I said everything. I was like, my name is Walter White. I live at, like, I gave up everything. I was like, please just call my dad. Like, I don't really know what to do here. And meanwhile, I feel like I need to tell you, like, as soon as we walked in the festival, I took my magical thing, because I was trying to time it with City Girls. And it was now timed with a police interrogation. They're like, where do you live? Like, who are your parents? Why did you have the drink? I didn't answer that part. I just answered the most basic information. And so they call my dad and they tell him, and he comes back. Oh, and we got mugshotted. I'll never find the mugshot. And he comes back in our giant truck named Buffy. And at this point, my friend is orange. The toner has set. I'm high as a kite. This other girl has it worse than us, though, because she fully had a fake ID, so she's, like, getting booked. And the cop was like, you guys are kind of sweet. And she cooperated. Yeah, sometimes you should cooperate. He's like, I'm going to let you go before the fingerprinting comes, because I got arrested for this, too. And it seems like you're just whatever. And that year, there were, like, I don't remember, there was, like, 5,000 arrests in the first day or something crazy like that. And he's like, we just have bigger problems. Like, people were coming in beyond high out of their minds. Like, it was insane. And so they let us go. And they're like, you will get something in the mail. Then my dad picks me up. What does he have in the front seat? Mike's Hard Lemonade. Adam really knows what to do on a hard day. The best part, he drives us back around. And then security privately takes us back through the back entrance. And they're like, where have you been? And we're like, oh, we've been in jail. And they're like, oh, baby, you come with us. And they're so sweet. And they took us and they're like, I can't believe they arrested you for that. That's stupid. And we're like, yeah, we know. So at that point, we make it.
For the people not at Coachella, I'm going to show you what Coachella is 90% of the time. 90. So, oh wait, but there's more.
You're probably sprinting.
So yes, I'll be giving Ozempic baddie after. Yay! Let me show y'all some more of the reality. Let me show you. Here's the line to get into VIP every time. Look.
So I got back from Coachella at like 9 p.m. last night, and this is why I think that this year did not hit the same as the previous years. I went in 2023 and 2024 and had the time of my life. Like, literally, if you let me just sleep on the polo field and stay until weekend 2, I would have done that. But this year, I was like kind of ready to go home. I also want to remind you that 200,000 people go to this festival every year. Most people who go are not rich or influencers. They travel from all over the world to be able to go. So people save up their hard-earned cash all year to be able to go, like myself. Not everyone gets accommodations, tickets, outfits, everything for free. It's not all District 12 stuff. So people are allowed to be disappointed if they don't think that they got their money's worth. And I will say, Coachella is like pizza. Like, even if it's not great, it's still good. There's no such thing as a bad Coachella, in my opinion. And if you've never gone, you should definitely try, because even though I've heard a lot of other people say that this year wasn't that great, I've also heard some people say that they had the time of their lives. So definitely try it out. I think the first thing that comes to mind that was different was that they had a lot of like cash grabby, like add-ons for like camping and stuff. Like, they had like the La Campagna camping, or like the Ready Set Go tent camping and stuff like that. And usually it's pretty much just like car camping, El Dorado Safari. So when my friend and I usually go, we've done El Dorado every single year, and we literally put the address in, pull right in, go through security at 11 p.m. There's not a single person there, and we set up within an hour. But this year they closed off like every road around the Coachella grounds for whatever reason. No one that we asked, like no staff person, knew where we needed to go. So we were literally just driving around the campgrounds basically for hours trying to find where we enter. And then once we entered, mind you, at 11 p.m. there was a huge line, and then we waited in line again for security, I think because they put like the safari people, the La Campagna people, like everyone all together to kind of just like save space and probably make money for them. So getting in was just a lot more difficult this year. They usually make so many cool activities for campers, which they did. This year they had Chris Lake on day 0, which was super cool, and we were really excited to see him. But because it took us so long to get in, we basically only got like 20 minutes of him. Kind of just like sets the tone. Same with security getting into like the festival, it took way longer to get in. Like, we were waiting for like an hour just to like enter, where usually they just scan your wristband and then you're good to go. This year was also significantly hotter than the last 2 weekend ones that I attended, and that is obviously no one's fault. Like, it's not Coachella's fault that it's hot, but it drains you. And like, they didn't have the pedicabs this year, which is basically like a fun bike that someone drives you around on and like really helps you with like the walking and stuff. So like, they took away things that like kind of helps with that issue, and we were just overall more like drained and exhausted and tired, I feel like, and everything was just so much more effort than other years. Also, in my opinion, I feel like water refills were harder to find this year. Usually they have one literally everywhere that you look. Like, it's hard to not refill your water, but for some reason I feel like they were harder to find this year. So let me know if you agree with that. One of my favorite things about Coachella as well is that it's usually like a 23, 24 and up crowd. So it's like a bit more mature. People who have jobs, basically, because, you know, it is expensive to go to. So you have to have like an income. It's not like high schoolers, college kids and stuff like that. But this year, I think maybe like Post Malone, Travis Scott, and like some of the other people performing brought in like a younger crowd. Like I saw so many high school boys in polos that just like stood right in front of you, to stand in front of you like for no reason, and that just ruins the vibe when like the crowd is super young and immature. Same goes with like the after parties and stuff like that. I feel like those weren't even as fun, and they were just more like try hard wannabe-esque, which I am too, but it was more obvious. I also felt like a lot of the crowd just like didn't match my freak. Like no one else was really like dancing or like getting as excited as me and my friend were. So that kind of like, dulls your sparkle a little bit. To be fair though, it is extremely hot. Like people probably just didn't have as much energy. Also, I feel like day one typically sets the tone for the whole weekend, as it does. And usually day one, like people bring out like such cool guests like Justin Bieber. We were expecting like Bruno Mars, Billie Eilish, people like that. And we saw like 11 people and no one really brought out like a cool guest, which is fine. But it's like, it doesn't feel like Coachella unless like there's some special big surprise type of thing. I also felt this way last year a little bit, but this year I felt like people, especially like Lady Gaga and stuff like that, were performing more for the live stream as opposed to like hyping up the audience and stuff. And you can disagree with me on that, like especially if you weren't there, you probably will disagree with me on this, but in my opinion, I feel like Lady Gaga usually is so good at like throwing a big dance party rager type of thing. And there's a lot of videos of people like not dancing and stuff like that, but it's because like, okay, she took like 5 minutes to transition from like wig to wig, and now she's doing Shallow, which is like a slow song, and now she's talking for another 5 minutes. I feel like she was really kind of like burning time and like performing for like people online, not the people who paid thousands of dollars to see her. And I've been like football fields away from the stage, like so far away, for like Bad Bunny, Calvin Harris, Lana Del Rey. I was so far, so much further, and I could hear perfectly, I could see perfectly. It was a party. Something about her performance and like last year Doja Cat, it just felt like they were trying to like make a movie as opposed to like making the crowd have fun. And people are going to disagree with me on that, and that's totally fine, but I know I'm not the only one with that opinion. Like, she was who I was most excited to see, and I feel like everyone was just like leaving early because they were bored, and I kind of wanted to too, even though like I forced myself to stay till the end, but it was just like a little bit slow moving. And I think after paying thousands of dollars to, yes, obviously see everyone at the festival, but especially her, like she was the draw for myself and so many others, I think I'm allowed to say that it was a little bit disappointing. Obviously, like Charli XCX and Green Day like made up for it the next day. And then by day 3, that's really when like all the high schoolers were out. Like we went to see Zed, and we were like just excited for like an easygoing kind of performance, like fun, whatever. We knew he was going to be good. And people around us were just so annoying and irritating and young, and like taking photos and videos like 24/7 and like throwing up on our shoes and stuff like that. And usually Coachella is not like that at all. Like everyone is so mature and fun. So something about it this year was just different. Not to say it wasn't magical and still amazing, and I would recommend going for anyone who's thinking about going, but I just definitely left being like, okay, I'm ready to go home, instead of wanting to come back for weekend.
So after watching these, I want to know, would you attend Coachella next year? My thing is, me personally, I don't see myself ever attending a Coachella festival. Not that I have anything against it, but their lineups, and they have like a ton of artists, but their lineups are just not like people that I'm into, that I listen to. So I definitely won't ever attend Coachella. Like I looked at this year's lineup, and like the only like I seen like people that I probably would listen to, like Megan Thee Stallion, and there was a couple of others, but I don't think I would ever attend a Coachella festival. Not to mention like the cost, it's just too much. And I don't live in California, so I will have to fly out, get reservations and stuff like that. And for that amount of money, I would want to have a good experience. So Coachella is definitely not on my list of something to do. It just costs way too much, and I would rather spend money elsewhere. But I'm not knocking other people that would want to go. It's just something I wouldn't go. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Until next time, take care.